After watching this episode, I'm going to tell you right now, I really love Shaft for what they're doing with Nisekoi. Now, I want to talk about some things. Mainly, the main thing I want to talk about is the vibes of Monogatari I see in this work, in this great anime and great manga series. Now, pretty much this actual episode pretty much covered the final bits of the first volume of Nisekoi, so there's not much more after I know what's going to happen after this episode, so pretty much I'm going to be clueless as much as all of you of how the anime adaptation is going to be, since I haven't read past what I have on the first novel. So, all in all, what I want to discuss about this actual episode of Nisekoi. The Monogatari scenes. I don't know if a lot of you have probably watched Bakemonogatari, Nisemonogatari, or just anything like that, but if you look closely, if you have watched, you'll see a lot of camera angles and different viewpoints, the way you see the suspension on the character's eyes, when they do close-up visuals of the eyes, the way they do panel of the screen just showing like their chest, and then upskirt, like, trying to hint at upskirt things, but it's not really fan service. I see a lot of quality from Bakemonogatari, and different scenes also from Madoka. I really, it's interesting enough to see how Shaft has adapted Nisekoi into something like this. It really suits the theme of the series, and it feels so different from our standard rom-com, and that's what I think why Nisekoi is going to do so well, because when you add Shaft into the mix, and you add this unique style of animation that Shaft normally does with great production value, with that great animation that was really awesome for certain scenes, especially that freaking beginning, you just get that very nice, good feel and dark atmosphere too. I mean, even though this is a rom-com and probably going to be a happy-go-lucky series, there's certain different bits of atmosphere in different parts of this episode, especially with the part we find out that Kurosaki actually has trouble making friends. It really, the entire mood and atmosphere of that scene just switched and swapped really quickly. When you see the music just playing in with the piano and all that, it just felt like I was watching a very dark episode of Bakemonogatari. And the music actually felt very similar, but the music was really awesome. I love the flute music, like the European type style music. The music they chose for this series is definitely what I was hearing in my head when I was reading the actual manga series. So good job on Shaft, what they're doing so far. They're sticking true to the manga still, what I've seen of this episode. They did, like I said in my past two other reviews, they did cut out some certain parts, but it's not that major. But pretty much the way they're animating the series and the way they're giving a unique vibe and trying to, I guess, spice it up and make the suspension and tension of the characters, especially with the camera angles, really is something I'm enjoying in this series. And it seems like Shaft has really learned a lot from Bakemonogatari and learned how to use their animation style to the limits and the best they possibly can with the way they animate it. And so, pretty much, is a lot of people really going to like Nisekoi? Yes, this is probably one of the greatest series of the season. Probably not the best in a lot of people's eyes, but I will say this though, a lot of people will agree with me. If you love Bakemonogatari, you will notice a lot of similarities in this piece of work that Shaft is doing. And if you hate Bakemonogatari and you hate it for its animation, well, I know for a fact you'll probably hate this series. But besides the animation fact, this episode had a lot of good plot progression. For instance, Onodera actually freaking having her key drop on the ground. Now, I want to talk about this real quick. Our main character, pretty much he thought that it was actually her the first time, the girl he met in the past, but then he turns around and believes Onodera when she says, "Oh no, it's my bookshelf key." That is so stupid. When a girl you have a crush on literally gets all that freaking shy and freaking excited and wants to run away all like that, that seriously would make you think that must be the key. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not the main character, but the main character seemed a little bit stupid in my opinion on that. But that did happen in the manga, so I'm not gonna really deny they're not sticking towards the actual really good adaptation of the anime. Now, another thing I've seen, like, really messed up about this episode, I don't know if a lot of people noticed it, and really, it's actually kind of a major error of this episode. For one, you get to see Onodera when you see our main male character in his dream, and he's thinking about her, you see a key on her neck. Now think about this, you see Onodera with a key on her neck and the same key that she drops in the middle of this episode. Now, if we think about this, okay, the main character did not even know that key existed on Onodera until she dropped it. So, how did he know in his mind when he's thinking that she had a key around her neck showing out in the open? So what I'm getting at is that was a mess up on animation part, I think. I don't know, I may have to go read back in the volume, I don't know. But if I'm making a mistake, please let me know in the comments. But if I'm not, that's a grave error Shaft has done, and so that's pretty freaking messed up if that is an error. Now, I like this episode. It had enough good character progression, plot development, twist, characters just getting and interacting together. It seems like our main female, main male character are actually have a lot of similarities between each other, and they seem to be a really good couple, even though they're doing a false love. And oh yeah, I want to talk about Claude. Claude, man, he's a freaking expert stalker. I mean, he may not be hiding well from our two main characters, but at the same time, he's freaking crazy. Sitting in a tree, scoping them out like this, and then he's sitting on top of an antenna, freaking tower pole or whatever, scoping them out, and then you see him in another scene in the commercial break scene, you see him with a bird on his head and all that. I'm like, this dude is a freaking pro! So, Claude, he is definitely one of my favorite characters, or my favorite side character, because he just has something about him that keeps him unique and interesting. Really, now, I like this episode of Nisekoi. I like the direction it's going. I like how Shaft is animating it. I love the way the plot is actually being truly adapted properly. Now, it really depends on how they go on from here. Since I haven't actually know what's going to happen from here on out, I don't know if it's going to be good, bad, and I want to leave it up to you, all you manga readers, to let me know if they're actually following the adaptation properly. Now, honestly, I like it. Tell me what you think about this episode. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? And tell me what you think about those entire different feels and vibes from other anime. Y'all wonderful day or not, wherever you live. Please stay safe. Chibi out.